The journey from the head to the heart is the most important journey any creative can make. And it's the longest journey we embark on, but it's funny because it traverses the shortest distance, right? I mean, from the head to the heart is only the span of your hand stretched out, yet it's an ever-expanding distance. Shit, if you even bend your chin to your chest, it's about as close as it gets. Yet, the head and the heart extend and deepen into infinity is just about as far as we can perceive as humans, right? The mind unchecked can loop endlessly in caverns of why, fantasies of bliss, with wild abandon for all things time and responsibility. And just the same as the heart, whose watery and fiery depths have no bottom, and whose murkiness and power tends to terrify most people. I know it does for me. So I'm shocked by the new depths of my heart that I continue to discover and the crevices of my mind that are yet to be explored. And as far as I'm concerned, the journey from the head to the heart is the only journey worth taking if you plan on living a fulfilling, expansive, and wildly creative life. So luckily, I know y'all are the same, so we're gonna dive in. I wanna talk about why this journey is so important and how it will impact you tremendously as an artist or a creative or designer, whatever you are, trying to give your gifts to the world, trying to create a really powerful business for humanity, because let's face it, the world needs more deep, attuned, embodied creativity. So if you're new here, my name's Kev. I am an award-winning furniture designer, a creative strategist, and I help ambitious creatives design and build an aligned business. So let's just get into the fact of the matter here. There's no hiding that culture is dysregulated. Endless distractions on endless screens. Empathy here, empathy there, until there's just really no juice left in the tank for the person that matters the most, which is you, which is me, right? We're taught to spend most of our life in our heads, thinking away into oblivion, feverishly striving, not even trying, we're striving to create certainty out of uncertainty. It's futile because life is uncertainty. But for the most part, we are rewarded for our headiness far more than we're rewarded for our heart forwardness as far as material wealth goes, right? But if you're anything like me, you're after a much deeper, more enriching type of abundance. A fulfillment that comes from the deep fire within. A sense of purpose that comes from authentic giving, not taking. So that level of depth is only made available when we make the journey from the head to the heart. And it is a journey, to say the least. You cannot jump it in one fell swoop. When we do that, or we think that we do that, it creates a sort of naivete. Like a young lover whose heart openness hasn't been earned, beautiful as it may be, at some point, naivete is challenged by hardship and depth. Because there's a vast difference between a heart forwardness that is lived from a place of naivete, as opposed to embodying your entire humanity with integrity through life's attempts at closure. Because life inevitably challenges us and something tries to close our heart. And until you navigate what it's like to open your heart through life's attempts at closure, you haven't earned it, right? So the latter is how you earn a powerful, open-hearted expression. And this is the most absolute essential aspect of creating anything of deep, true value for the world and for the ones that you love. But it's not easy to create from this place, right? It takes courage to embrace what is happening in your heart. What we discover in the privacy of our own hearts can be frightening, overwhelming, and incredibly painful, right? Yet, it can also be radiantly beautiful, unconditionally loving, and powerfully alive. Chances are it's actually both, but it takes serious courage to venture into the depths of your own heart. Because no one else can venture into those waters but you. You can be sure of the fact, however, that life will keep presenting you opportunities to go deeper and deeper and deeper until your freedom and liberation is inevitable. Yet resistance to this force of liberation is all too often what we subscribe to. Why go deeper when it seems like there's no tangible reward? Why go deeper when everyone around you seems content where they are? Why go deeper if it's scary to even go there? The thing is, life has a really funny way of helping us become more free. It challenges us to persevere beyond our edges and our expectations. It'll seem like, the world is resisting your gifts. Life will sort of try to convince you to close your heart, rather. It will test your capacity to keep giving even when it feels pointless or just too difficult, right? So life does not do this because it's malicious or that it doesn't want you to succeed. In fact, it's actually the exact opposite. I believe that life is benevolent and it urgently wants you to become all that you can be, but, and it's a big but, it craves your unwavering devotion to the challenge of becoming all that you can be. That's exactly the key right there. Living open-hearted is a profound challenge. It's incredibly difficult. It's an art and a practice much like a martial art that takes years and years and years to develop and refine. It's a path of mastery that'll carry on for your whole life. And that's exactly what creating from the core of your wild heart is. Creating from the core of your wild heart is an unending practice of devotion to your most whole, authentic self in every moment. That's huge. That's the highest calling we can embody in any moment, is how deeply am I devoted to my most whole and authentic self. Now inside of that, there's a dance between our intellect and our intuition. The mind thinking to know versus the heart just knowing. Now, the mind isn't a bad place to hang out. It just gets in the way often, to say the least. And it tends to create a lot of unnecessary suffering, The heart just feels, and it feels strongly and deeply. Yet, it knows how to heal. And it strengthens itself from this deep place of feeling. Think of your heart like the compass, while the mind is more of the navigator. You could even say, the mind's even like an astrologer and an omen reader, right? Reading the signs and the stars and the timing. But it really takes both to participate fully and beautifully in life. But it really takes both, I see so many people, especially men, myself included, definitely included, who try to live much of their life through intellect, controlling and asserting their will, my will onto life, right? While those aren't wrong approaches to life, are they the most connected, refined, and expansive approaches to creating a beautiful life? And I'll let you discern that for yourself. But now I'll just tell you the answer. No. Maybe. Who knows? But for me, I know for certain that the most beautiful aspects of my life have always been cultivated from the heart first. But to even get to a place where that's available to me has been a long, muddy road of traversing really tricky terrain, right? Dismantling the walls I've created that are protecting my heart, dissolving the fears that have kept me from going deeper. True depth lives in the heart, not the mind. And depth is a really, really valuable currency in this culture today, in today's day and age, really, If you're any sort of creative artist or entrepreneur, then depth is your number one skill to cultivate. Despite what culture tries to feed us, I really feel and believe and experience that people crave depth and presence now more than ever. So your capacity to give your gifts from your heart-centered depth determines how valuable you are to the world around you. Now, your inherent self-worth lives deep within you in your heart. But your value to the world comes from how deeply you've cultivated that self-value, because it becomes the bedrock upon which you give. So you give from how deep you've gone into your own heart. Giving from the mind is fleeting, at best it's a passing delight, you can try to give someone intellectual depth and that's great. But giving from the heart is transformative. It's what makes others weep. It's what draws out emotion. It creates intimacy, connection, and belonging. So, you tell me which one's gonna help you live more of a fucking beautiful life. Yeah. For me, it's the heart. So, if y'all are curious about what it takes to really create from depth and presence of your own heart, I've created a training called the Embodied Creator Toolkit that really is a series of experiments that helps you get to the core of who you are so that you can create from that place, so that you can express your artistry, run your business, lead your circles from that deep place of embodiment in your heart. Links in the description below. I'd love to see you inside. In the meantime, please subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Ciao.